Well, hello everyone, it's Sean. So today I wanted to do something different, something that you all have been asking me to do, and that's a makeup tutorial for beginners step by step. So we're gonna go right into this makeup tutorial, and I'm going to talk you through it so that if you're a beginner, you actually can really do this along with me, pause the video, and get a seamless application. And I'm also going to give you some helpful tips at the very end to help you not to break out when you're wearing your makeup. So without further ado, if you're new, please subscribe, give this a like, and please click the notification bell so you're notified every time I put up a video. We love to love you here, and I'd love to have you to be a part of my community. So without further ado, let's get started. Use a primer and sunscreen, then go into your foundation. I'm moving from middle outward in a tapping motion because when you're using a brush, you don't want streaks. An ergonomic brush helps you to get into those hard to reach areas. You want to take this foundation down the neck as well so no one can see where your makeup starts and where it ends. All right, friends, so we're going to go into drawing our brows. In this step, I make it really simple. I'm using the Jouer Jet Set palette, just going into this black shade right here. I love to use shadows because when I'm using a sunscreen and a foundation, it's easier for me to draw the brows on with a powder finish on top of a liquid than to use a pencil that tends to slide around or not give me the pigmentation that I need to draw my brows. So I have hooded lids. If you have hooded lids, you want to take the tail of your brows away from a downward motion towards the eye. You want to take it more towards the ear. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm looking in the mirror here, and I'm just going to take that black shade, and I'm just going to follow the natural contour of my eyes, but I'm making sure to concentrate that wing going away from the downward motion. So I'm going to do the same thing over here on the top. Look down just to make sure that I'm making that line seamless and that it's connecting. The next thing we want to do is we want to fill out any of that sparseness in the middle. So a shadow makes it really easy for application. And of course, this is just preference. If you're more comfortable with using a pencil, just go ahead and do that. If you find that the tail kind of fades, just go ahead and add more black because we're going to lighten that up with a brow tint. And this is just what I do every day. Again, everybody's opinion is subjective, and the way that you find yourself comfortable with your makeup and your tools, then I definitely say go with that. But if you're a beginner and you're really trying to figure it out, I'm here to walk through this process with you. So now let's go into cleaning up the brows. I'm going to go in with the Estee Lauder Double Wear in medium deep. This is a little bit lighter, so you can definitely feel free to go 1 to 2 shades lighter. I love to do this because more times than not, I don't use a brow bone highlight. So using a brighter concealer to clean up my brows helps me. And when I get to the top, I just blend it in to the foundation, and I just go over a little bit with foundation. Of course, there's no rules in makeup. You can do the brows first, then put on the foundation if you find that to be easier. Don't worry, it'll all come together in the end, I promise you. So this looks really scary right now, but that's okay because it's going to come together, I promise. So what we want to do is we just want to start blending this out now. And I absolutely love this concealer from Estee Lauder. I will leave a link to this product below. As you all know, if you've been with me for a while, I'm a huge Estee Lauder lover. But as you can see, it's blending into my skin, so it does not look as harsh anymore. So again, you can use a little bit more foundation if you choose, but just remember your powder, if your powder is more your skin tone, that is also going to bring that color down as well. Okay, so I just wanted to let you all know that. And I'm using bronzer. So it's all subjective if you want to go over this with foundation, or if you just want to keep it and just blend this into the skin like I'm doing. But even if you haven't had your eyebrows waxed, you can literally do this method and it looks like you've had them groomed. The next thing you want to do, which you can skip this step if you don't want to, is to highlight underneath the eyes. Now, I'm going to go back in with my Estee Lauder in medium deep. I'm just going to start by highlighting under my eyes. Now, here's the key with highlighting under the eyes. You want a little bit of this product. You don't need to go, I know, Instagram ready for an everyday going to work kind of look. So less is more, and it leads to less caking and less cracking. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to blend this into my skin. And you see it gives me a beautiful highlight, and I'm not intimidated by how bright this is because, again, I'm going to tie everything in with my powders, my eyeshadows, and everything else right into that transition area and up the sides of the face. You can highlight around the mouth if you choose. If you're highlighting around the mouth, you want to take the brush going up this way like this, so that everything looks like it's blending seamlessly. However, for this video, I won't be highlighting my mouth area. Most people will use a color corrector or a highlight around the mouth when they're trying to make everything even. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on my eyes because I want to give this concealer a little bit of time to set in. And that's the thing about using wet products. You want to give them time to dry down a little bit before you go into powders, or you may have patchiness, cakiness, or product moving around. So I'm gonna go in with my MAC Skin Finish in Dark Deep with a clean, fluffy eyeshadow brush. And this is because I don't need precision here. I am just blurring out any lines that may have some cracking. So this is just going to give me a seamless base for when I start putting on my eyeshadow. So I'm just lightly tapping this over my lid and a little bit above in my transition area, just where I see there was some movement. And you just want to make sure that if you see any lines that you're blurring those out. I'm going to go in with the Jackie Aina palette. This is one of my favorite palettes. It does have a lot of fallout all over the place. Every time I clean this palette, I feel like the colors just get on top of each other. But you can see it's a well-loved palette and it's super duper nice. So I'm just going to go in and show you a transition, start with my transition area. Your transition color can literally be a lighter color, 1 to 2 shades lighter. It's just going to give you that nice gradient from the lid color to a nice darkening of the crease area of your eye, and then you have the lighter transition area. So feel free to go with a windshield wiper motion if your brush is super soft, or if it's like mine where it's a little bit stiffer, you can just do really light strokes and send that outward. You want to hold the brush where you have the least amount of control, just so that brush is really just blending out that eyeshadow. Hopefully you guys can see. Definitely let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with a darker color. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to use something super dark, which would be this purple shade right here. This is called Big Wig. And the reason why I want to use this darker shade, because sometimes pinker could blend right in here. And for the sake of this video, I really want you to see how to create an eyeshadow look. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the same brush and I'm going to go into here. Of course, you can use a smaller brush, just tapping this off the excess. And when you have hooded lids like you see right here, I'm just going to create a crease above my natural lid so that people would be able to see the colors. And again, I'm just gently, it's best to gently place this, starting in the middle, working my way out. It's best to gently place it first and then bring in more color if you need it. But as you guys can see, it's creating that crease for me, just giving me more depth to the eye And while my eyes are open, you can still see the color. And we want to make sure that we're taking all of these colors outward. And I'm going to blend everything together at the end. So now you can see there's a definite difference between this eye and this eye. I've brought a little bit more depth, but we're going to blend that out even more. All right, so going in with a clean fluffy brush, I'm just going to blend that out some more just to make this seamless. And I am definitely focusing under where I put that purple because I want to smoke that out. I love putting on my foundation first, doing my brows, then going into eyes. And if there's a lot of fallout from my eyeshadow palettes, all I'll do is use a little bit of concealer. And that's why I start off with a little bit, because it's always better to start off with a little bit and have to use more than to start off with a lot and you do your brows and you put on your powder and everything, and then you have all this fallout from your eyeshadow all over your already done face. So I'm just going to go on this lid part of my eye, and on the lids, again, for the sake of this video, I'm going to go on the lids with something strong, and this is going to be Wigglies. Now, of course, you can use your fingers. So if you want more payoff, I would use a primer. This is a super duper pigmented eyeshadow palette, so you really don't need to spray your brush unless you want to. And I'm bringing it a little bit above my natural crease. So right now, it's all about placing this shadow on, building it up, and laying it down nicely. Beautiful. Wigglies is such a beautiful color. If you all have not tried the Jackie Aina palette, I would definitely say, if it's still available on ABH, to check it out. It is such a good palette. We're just gonna clean everything up, like right in this area right here, but we're gonna make sure that we're not taking that shimmer into that purple shade. So just using the same brush, just cleaning up around it and blending it out, just so that there's no harsh lines and everything looks buffed out properly. All right, friends, so I'm gonna go in with this flat brush. You can definitely use something smaller if you have it. And I'm just gonna take this same purple shade that I used, and I'm gonna take that under the eye. I'm just stamping that right under the eye. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of Wigglies and take that right on the first half of my eye, not taking it all the way, but just halfway. So you can see, just like that. So it's fading into that purple shade. You can use an eyeliner if you like. I'm not going to use one. Now, as far as mascara goes, I'm going in with the Estee Lauder Sumptuous Mascara. If you want to get more payoff from your mascara, definitely you can use a base. I'm not going to use a base because I'm just going to show you how I coat my lashes. You can go underneath with the applicator and zhuzh it upward, or you can close your eyes on the applicator to zhuzh the bottom lash line. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to go in with our powder. I'm going in with the MAC Skin Finish in Dark Deep. This really does warm up my face. So I'm just going in with tapping motions and setting that right on top of this makeup, not going too far under where I highlighted my eyes, because this is more like my skin tone and I don't want to darken up what I just brightened up. But as you can see, it's warming up my skin, and I take that powder and I go towards my hairline, because a lot of the times we can see that, you know, if someone is not taking their powder all the way upward, it's going to leave their natural skin, and then it'll show us where the powder starts from where it ended. And so we don't want that. And I like to go outward to find gravity when I can, around my mouth area especially, because everything is already competing to pull everything down. So I kind of take my brush in a way that is going away. I'm actually using the camera, so forgive me. The next thing we want to do is we want to go into bronzing. Fenty's Mocha Mami is one of those really great bronzers. There's also the Charlotte Tilbury. This, as you can see, it's a darker but warm orange brown. And I'm just going to take this around in a number 3. I'm taking it around the periphery of my head, but I'm making sure that I'm getting this into my hairline or going towards my hairline. And we just want to warm up that face, take this onto the cheeks, and we bring it down. Bronzers warm up, contours recede. They bring shadows. So there we go. I'm using the camera, so again, forgive me, just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Bronzer can act as your blush too. It doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily need to go after a blush, because as you can see, this warmed me up pretty good. If you wanted to, you can set under the eyes, which I'm going to do. You can use a banana powder or a yellow powder, whatever you want to use. Typically, right underneath my eye, I would use my MAC Skin Finish, which is more my skin tone. This one is definitely a pound, and I'm just going to press that right here under my eyes, and that's it. All right, friends, we're almost there. So the next thing we're gonna do is go in with blush from my Jackie Aina palette, which I think I'll do just for the sake of this video. And you wanna use a face brush. Something smaller like this would be great. Or even if you used something like this, or you can use like a regular face brush. I'm gonna go in with my Lancome smaller brush, because this gives me more control. So you wanna go with what you're comfortable with. Something small like this can help me place exactly where I want my blush to go, other than using a bigger brush, which I can use on top of if I need to diffuse too much of this pigment out. Just gonna go into Supreme and Pinker. I love to mix these two together. That's why this is used the most. And I'm just gonna use the mirror here, and we're gonna just place that right here and take it towards the ear. So right on the jawbone towards the ear. See that? It's a beautiful shade. And we're gonna do the same thing on the next side. Again, because this is a dense brush, it's picking up quite a bit of product. This is also great for highlighting as well. I'm going to use my fluffy brush here, and I'm just going to start to diffuse that out. That way it makes for a much more lighter application and a more beautiful finish. It always looks like I have highlighter on, which is great because it helps me to know where to place highlighter. All right, so just taking that upward, and I'm just diffusing this outward, just like this, going, just kind of dusting it downward towards my ear. And I'm going to go and highlight. When we're highlighting, it's all preference as well, but just because this is a beginner video, where you want to go with your highlighter, you want to go right onto that cheekbone, and you can bring it up if you want, or you can stop there. But I like to go in a C motion, and some people take their highlighter underneath their brow bone. Just going into this color Mirage from Estee Lauder, which is my favorite everyday go-to, and I'm just going to take that color right above my, I love this highlighter. It's very natural. Dusting this downward and taking this up like a C, bringing this downward, and just right here where that little dip is, so pretty when you have highlighter right there. And if you want more of a glow to the nose, you can put a little bit there, feel free, just a little bit there. Whew. All right, friends, so I brought down the light so you can see how everything is coming together. I'm going to line my lips with the NYX Espresso pencil. This is a really great pencil if you don't want to use an expensive pencil. This works just beautifully. I do love Chestnut from MAC, and I do love Chanel's pencils. But for a beginner, you probably don't want to invest in high-end makeup yet. So I'm just going to show you how this is going to look. And I'm just following the natural contour of my lips, as you can see. So we're just going to follow that line, bring it up to meet that top right here, the angle. Just angle it. Okay. Now you can certainly keep your lips like this and just put on a lip gloss and just smudge your lips. What I like to do is diffuse this color out a little bit, and you can do that with clean fingers or using a lip brush, or you can just do your lips together like I'm doing. Now, this is one of my favorite lipsticks. I've been wearing this in older videos. This is Inescapable by Estee Lauder. It's a beautiful pinky nude shade, very satin. Look at that. And what we want to do with this at the top, Scott Barnes, I'm just going to take this outward towards that lip liner, because this gives the illusion of a fuller lip. Okay, so I just wanted to sit back a little bit from you so that you can see the entire application. Now, there's something that I want to bring to your knowledge when you're finished putting on your makeup. You can use setting sprays, but when you're using setting sprays, the one thing I want you to look at on the back of your setting spray, I wouldn't be a scientist now in the beauty space if I don't mention this. Make sure that it's free from alcohol, anything that is citrus. If you don't like fragrance, make sure before you purchase your sprays it doesn't have fragrance in it. Now, some products that I use has fragrance and it's non-comedogenic, it's non-allergenic, and it works well for me, but that's not the case for everyone. So here's a few key ingredients that you can look for in your setting sprays: cucumber, green tea, lavender, chamomile, or even aloe. Really great properties to help to fight acne, to fight the free radicals. And some of those products I'm going to mention as a facial spray is the Mario Badescu. This is the lavender, aloe, and chamomile spray, and it's very calming. It also has aloe in it. This one is the cucumber and aloe and green tea spray. And the last one is the rose water spray. Some people like it, some people don't. This has been my favorite. And all you're gonna do is you can use one or you can use two and just mist your face, let it dry. It's gonna dry beautifully. Rose water is great as a great antimicrobial, so it's gonna fight acne. It's also great for bringing in hydration. And if you don't wanna go rose water from Mario Badescu, feel free to go Altea. I put it in a Mario Badescu bottle, so you can tell I'm a huge rose water proponent. I'm huge on aloe. You all know that I use just the aloe vera juice as my toner. So even while wearing makeup, we wanna make sure that we're doing what necessitates having healthy skin while wearing our makeup. So check out my previous video that I did on how to have clear skin while wearing makeup. I hope you all found this video helpful, an everyday makeup tutorial, and I'll see you all in my next one. Ciao for now.